So fairly rapid start here to this men's C 5,000 metres. Top seeds are sitting around that 16:30 mark. And that equates to about between 79 and 80 seconds per lap. So if we see them going through just under that 40 seconds, they're dead on target. So Oliver Pratt leading the way. Teddy Banks also up there with Leo Warsome. So nice quick start here. The youngsters are certainly putting the foot down early, trying to establish that pace. And when they go through the 400, we'll get a good fix on the pace they're setting through the early laps here of this 12.5 lap event. So Oliver Pratt sitting about 15:30 pace at the moment. So this is a fairly swift start. That pack of four sitting behind looking pretty decent as well. But it's Pratt leading. Looks like it's the St. Kevin's runner there in Lynch. Warsome to the outside. Banks hugging the rail. Oh, sorry, that's the Geelong Guild runner there in Stott. He's taken the outside. Warsome sitting on the rails as well. As we see the smooth running style there of Oliver Pratt leading the way. So the chase pack there, Vernal just taking a move there on Saccharides. You can see Lovis there, also Hong in the mix. Murhai, another exciting young character from the Mentone Club. Very brave running at Milers Club a couple of weeks ago in the 3,000 metres. Announced that he's on the scene as we go through the 800 now in 2:31. So we're into about the 1540s now. That definitely that second pack sitting in the 1540s. And we're seeing the young Mornings Peninsula runner out front just having that lead being gobbled up. And certainly the second of our Mornington runners there in Teddy Banks just being asked the question, but he has beautifully just latched himself back on to Warsome, which is where he needs to be. But it's Stott who's doing the chase now. Lynch quite happy to let Stott do the work for the moment. Vernal now in no man's land, so Alan's just got to carve it out by himself. Hong now looking good. Also McDonald making a move down the outside there to latch on one out, one back on Hong. That's not a bad spot to be. The Diamond Valley runner also looking good there in McCarthy. But out front, it's a group of 4.5 potentially. Little gap forming there. But as we saw earlier, Banks just doing what he needs to do. But I think Vernal is really making those moves. He's made the choice to actually have a real red-hot go here. So through the 1200. So pace has gone off a bit, and they're sitting in the 1550s through to 16-minute mark. But for all of those, that will be a breakthrough run. So it is good pacing with Stott now out front. Good to see them prepared to actually take a bit of the lead. Lynch running very smart. Pratt now in third. Warsome fourth. Then Banks, and Vernal is nearly there. Anderson from Yarra Rangers. He's the next in the chase pack. McDonald. Hong, McCarthy, Saccharides, Murhai, Lovis, and gotta love him, Grant Simpson, just tacking onto that pack, doing an amazing job as one of our best Masters athletes in Victoria. And talking of Masters, Russell Jenkins in the Bendigo University singlet, bringing up the rear, coming through to get 9 laps to go. So racing 3 out front now. Stott just maintaining around that 16-minute schedule. Lynch content to sit in second. Early leader Pratt just sitting in third. Nice move there by Banks. Vernal is on. So 2 groups of 3. Gap then to Anderson, then McDonald. Hong sitting to the outside of Lovis. Murhai getting a little bit impatient, going to the outer flank there of Sakaridis. McCarthy striding beautifully and Simpson doing what he needs to do. Jimmy Goulis in next position. So approaching 2 kilometres now. $6.25 at the 2K, 16.02 pace. So slightly off the sub 16, but if these guys can hold this next couple of laps nice and steady and then kick down on the last K, we could see some sub 16s. Be lovely to get a few of these youngsters through with a 15 as the first digit. Stott, Lynch, Pratt, no change. Warsome now driving through on the rails. Banks going to the outside. Vernal running strongly just to the outer of Warsome as they go through. Nice running by Anderson to bridge that gap, and I wouldn't be surprised if James Anderson doesn't join that chase pack. McDonald now in a little bit of no man's land. Daniel Sear just going through in the Melbourne University uniform. Also Andrew McAvoy and Oliver Burns from Williamstown. As we go through the 2400 in 7:43. So a little bit of break out front. It is still Stott from Geelong Guild. Lynch, St Kevin's. Gap of 15 metres to Pratt. Vernal, as we said, moved nicely to get onto that pack and now moves away from them. As we come down to get 6 to go. Warsome, then Banks, Anderson, McDonald, Hong, Lovis, Murhai, Sakaridis, McCarthy, Simpson. Gap then to Goulis. And as we're seeing, Elias Stott starting to stamp his authority on this race. He's looked good, looked very relaxed and comfortable out front. And now just starting to ease away from Matthew Lynch. And we see Vernal starting to wind it up. A little bit more experienced than a lot of the guys in this race. Alan Vernal been out for a little while, for a few years, not as prevalent in these fields, but back again. The Vernal name, very famous at Athletics Nunawading. So Stott now out by 5 to 7 metres over Lynch. As Russell Jenkins comes through to get 6 to go. So 3 kilometres. They are slipping away from that 16-minute target. So around the 16:10 pace at the moment for our leader. Lynch just back a little bit from that. Vernal looking good now in third position ahead of Banks. Sorry, Pratt, then Banks. Warsome, gee, they're lining up to make the moves behind that. Lovis has done a good move now to bridge that gap. Sakaridis, Simpson playing it smart, just sitting midfield there in that chase group. Sear just passing Goulis, his teammate. Burns in next position, then McAvoy. A lot of interest now in that chasing pack from Lovis. They're going for around 16:40 pace. Sakaridis, Simpson, as I said, has played the waiting game there and is just sitting nicely behind the smaller figure in the Glen Huntley uniform. Hong and Murhai, the teammates working together. And as you see, they've started to really come through on some of those early leaders. But looking out, and Alan Vernal is the one to watch here. He was sitting back in about 7 for 8 position. He now finds himself in second. And it's the two green uniforms out front. And I think Vernal might have that lead. Stott's done a great job out front for Geelong Guild. But the Nunawading runner, just look at that stride pattern down the back straight. Nice and easy, nice and comfortable. And I think we're going to see a change in lead as they go through now. So Vernal takes the lead. I think they're on about 16:15 pace. So still a fair way to go. But it's Vernal leading. Stott. Lynch hanging in. Gap of 35 metres to Lovis. And then Pratt, Sakaridis, Simpson, Murhai and Hong. So 3 to go. Lovis the one to potentially put the glasses on now because he is starting to wind this up. He's got about maybe 25 to 30 metres to catch on that third position there in Lynch. Pratt not far behind him, but I'd say fading, and is Lovis the one who's winding up. Vernal out by 15. Another 15 Stott to Lynch. And then we're seeing that gap close to Lovis. Was 30, was 25, it's going to be 20 very, very soon. 13:02, 4 kilometres. 16:15 pace, just over for Alan Vernal, leading the way at the moment. So Stott looking around that 16:25 mark. About 16:30 for Lynch if they hold, and Lovis is the one who's bearing down on them. Two to go for Vernal. Stott, 30 metres back. 15 then to Lynch. 5 metres back to Lovis. Sakaridis, Pratt, Simpson in that order. The Mentone boys, Hong to the outside, Murhai to the inside. McDonald, McCarthy. Then Banks, Warsome. Sear in next position, and then Goulis. The next of the moves is just coming. Lovis into third. $500 out, Alan Vernal. Stott second. Lovis coming alongside him, 500 out. So the wind coming up, looks like it's a home straight breeze. Alan Vernal head down, 1 to go, gets the bell. Lovis in second now. So Stott sticking with him. Lynch not far back, and G. Simpson's run a good smart race once again. Could be eyeing off a few of those youngsters up ahead, thinking I might want to get close to the podium in this race. Murhai's played the patient game with his teammate Hong, and now he decides he's going to take off, and he's got Sakaridis in front of him. Stott just kicking away from Lovis again. Has Murray done a little bit too much to bridge that gap? It could be the way, and Elias Stott just starting to put the afterburners on, but out front, Alan Vernal leading the way. Probably won't be caught from there. Rounding by the water jump the last time. So we want, once again, all competitors to finish in lane 3. As Alan Vernal leads the way. Yeah, Lovis looks like he's done a lot of work there because you've just had Lynch come past him as well. But Alan Vernal, he'll take this one out. Let's get him under the 16:20 mark. He'll be comfortably there, I think. So nice, smart running. Stayed patient early. And Alan Vernal from Nunawading, 16:16. Lynch, big kick home as well. He's going to stop the clock at about 16:21. 16:23 thereabouts for Stott. Nice run by Lovis. Just ran out of gas in the last lap, but good running Murray Lovis. 16:29. 16:30 thereabouts for Simpson. Nice run from Murhai. I'll be happy with that 35. Sakaridis and Hong. Maybe the fast finishing Hong over Sakaridis. McCarthy next position. Then it was Pratt, McDonald, Sear, Banks, Warsome coming through. 1 lap to go, Russell Jenkins. So Jimmy Goulis, Melbourne University, he'll be in just a shade over the 17-minute mark. So 17:09 thereabouts. Andrew McAvoy checks the watch as he comes down. So McAvoy next, was challenged by Burns but couldn't quite make it. They were both low 17:20s. Results. Let's get behind Russell Jenkins, our master vet from Bendigo University. Impressive time here for his age group. He's going to be well under the 18:30 mark, and Russell Jenkins will round out the Seafield 18:22 thereabouts.